We're quickly going to go through GDPR and how Volcanic are overcoming this problem. So clearly we have to understand the roles, data subjects, data controllers, data processors. We're concerned on this video about data subjects, that's candidates. So under their rights, the right to be informed, the right to rectification and consent, etc. We're going to cover off how we at Volcanic have sort of addressed this. So let's start with the consent area. So when a candidate signs up to any of the recruitment sites that Volcanic provide, we provide an area whereby in their dashboards they can see all the details of the various consents that you may have in your system. So cookie policy, privacy policy, things like the terms and conditions and other first opt-in consent messages and second opt-in consent messages. So you can see from the way we're using the dashboard here, all the candidates can always see the terms and conditions and they can view them and they can opt in and they can opt out, and that's the critically important thing to do. So you can see that when you click that, you can click a remove and the remove will work, and then when you re-click it you can confirm. So this is an active consent area, and obviously we've built this area with the area in mind for the candidate, and this complies fully with what GDPR requires, which is opt-in. So when you set this up, you go into admin areas. If you go to our compliance area, and under compliance area you'll see an area which is actually called consent. So if we click on consent, you can see the various consent messages like cookie policy, privacy policy, terms and conditions, first opt-in message, second opt-in message and the age verification message. And you can see what we do is we keep a version number of each of the policies so that as life goes through, as things change, we can see the date and when we've actually enabled a change. And you can see from this one we've actually got a positive green, and the red one, the red cross, means that it's done. So you can see you can edit that by simply editing, and you can click in here and obviously you can adjust it and you can modify the existing one, or if you want to you can actually create a new document area, which we're going to cover in a second. So terms and conditions, that's use of the site. That isn't a GDPR requirement, but how you use their data, which is what we call the first opt-in message and the second opt-in message, is critical. And for those working with children, age verification messages are also important. So if you create a new document, you can choose what type of document it is from the selection of the drop down. You can select a version number, or 1 or 2 or 3, and you can give it a title, and then you can put your data in here, and that will actually, by clicking the active, will make it active. It's pretty straightforward, it's easy to do that. But also remember there are other things like the right to erasure, the right of access and the right of data portability. So in the first sentence we've covered consent. Now we allow the candidate to actually request the right to be forgotten on the website, and you can do that by clicking the request button, and when we do that, this is a second page where you say are you sure, and once you click submit, then they've made the right to be forgotten. At that point a clock starts ticking. For the right of access, that's about getting access to all their data, what data are allowed, and again we would ask them to do a request, and one more time that request would go through to the system and to you as users of the system and admins. You'll be informed of that request. You can see the my data area here. You can see that if you click on download data, that's your data portability issue that you want to go through. So in the admin area, when you've got a right to be forgotten request, in the compliance area you can see you've got RTBF and you've got TROA. So RTBF is this area here which shows who's actually requested and the date that they requested it, and you can mark that as being completed, and it will ask you to make sure you can do that. Once you've done that, then the request to actually delete them from the system will go through to us and we will remove them. On the right of access, again, this is a date driven activity, so once you've got all the data, you can actually confirm that's been done and you can send that directly to the actual candidate. So as you can see, the candidate's rights for consent are enabled, the rights for access is enabled, and the right to be forgotten is enabled. The right to data portability again is enabled, and all of this is provisioned through the actual admin area. If you've got any questions, get in contact, and I'm sure either myself or one of the team will help you out. Thank you for watching.